Alright, what's up guys, it's Spider back for another Persona 5 X video. So today we're going over some new characters that are actually going to be coming out very soon. So if you guys notice on the JP Twitter here, which for some reason it's on the EN Twitter, yep. But basically on the JP Twitter, they tweeted out this tweet here which has two characters with their silhouettes. And it says, the translated version at least, is new character preview. From the Velvet Room to everyone, it seems Merope has detected a new Phantom Idol. Technically two new Phantom Idols. So if you guys are wondering who these characters are, well, let's go ahead and find out. You guys can probably tell from the thumbnail though. So we're getting Minami, Miyashita, which each character has two different names, so it's gonna be kind of hard to get a little bit used to. Because each character has like two different names. Their actual name, and then their Phantom Idol persona name. And then we also have Yui down here. So one of them is clearly way better than the other. So Yui is not that great for general content, but she's actually quite decent for boss content. And then we have Minami Miyashita here. I forgot what her other name was, but I think her other name is Marian. She's actually a very good character for all content. So a very good character you guys want to probably pull for. She's actually tier 0 for general content, and then she's slightly worse for boss content, but still basically gonna really good. So this is a character you guys really want to get. I think she will be added to the standard banner though, so you probably won't need to waste limited pulls. Most likely you'll want to save your limited pulls for collab characters or seasonal characters. So I'm assuming this character is going to be added to standard banner, so most likely you won't really need to worry about rolling for it. You could probably just wait for it to be added to the general pool and just use your gold tickets and try to get it from that is what I would probably recommend. And then of course we go down a little down here for where Yui is. Yui's actually tier 2 for bosses, so Yui's actually not too bad for bosses basically. So yeah, so like not too bad of a character. So if you need a decent single target DPS character, she'll be a decent option, though Ryuji exists and he's better, so there's also that to keep in mind. And On is also way better for bosses too. Granted, Ryuji is a single target DPS, whereas On is not, but yeah. Now let's go over what they do, what exactly makes them so viable. You're so good, right? At least for one of them. So we'll go over Yui first here. So she's an electric character who's a single target character assassin. So really good for bosses basically. She's also named as Bu, but then some stuff. So a little bit lower stuff here. Okay. So let's see. So here's their skills. So first skill here, Crackle Surprise Box, deals 185 attack electric damage to one enemy. If the enemy is not inflicted with shock, there's a 68% chance to inflict them with shock for 2 turns, and if the foe is inflicted with shock, increases damage by 30%. So basically, if they don't have shock, you'll have a chance to give them shock, and if they do have shock, you're getting a 30% damage boost, which is quite good. Now we have the other skill here, Exploding Brick. Also, these two cost 20 SP, and the first one is a single target. This one here is AoE for Exploding Brick, deals 59 attack electric damage to all enemies and increases damage to main target by 25%. Something very similar to what Joker has if you have one duplicate to him, where every target will take increased damage, but then everybody else will take less damage basically. But this is also AoE skill. Now we have our other skill here, which is called Super Rare Reward. Costs 25 SP, and it's a single target skill. Increases own attack by 39%, and select one ally to be your playmate. Triggers a follow-up after playmate deals damage with a persona skill. Makes your next 2 follow-up attacks deal 132 attack electric damage for 2 turns, and then increases the chance to trigger Big Project Star by a fixed 10% chance for 2 turns. So basically, she's increasing your own attack by 39%. You select one ally that has I guess like a buff or more like a status, and then basically whenever that person who has whichever character that has this playmate status on them, if they ever do attack on a persona, then that'll trigger a follow-up. So then was it Bui here or Yui here will do a follow-up attack with this increased attack, and then let's see, and then the next 2 follow-up attacks from this will basically be increased to 132 as well. So for a total of like maybe about 170-ish or so, give or take, of attack here. So that's very good. And then ultimate here, Highlight. It's also AoE, increases own attack by 34%, increases follow-up damage based on 24% attack for 2 turns, and then you'll trigger follow-up after any allies deal damage with skills for 1 turn. So basically very similar to her other skill here, where she buffs her own attack by a smaller amount though this time. And then she's also increasing her follow-up attack by 24% for 2 turns. And then basically anybody who does any damage basically will trigger her follow-up attack. So basically I'm assuming the way this works is that she can I'm assuming the way this is going to work is that she'll be able to follow attack a couple extra times, I think, is what that's saying, because it does say for 1 turn. So I'm assuming if everybody attacks, then she'll literally follow up all 3 more times, or whoever, how many of your characters attack, basically, right? And then she has some passive stuff here. So your follow-up attack will do 36% more damage to foes inflicted with shock, so you want to make sure they have shock. And then if you have a playmate on an ally, increase own and playmate's crit rate by 12% and attack by 12%. Okay, it's actually quite good. Okay, so it is a buff. Okay, because I'm not too sure, because sometimes in some games these things are statuses, but usually most of the time they are buff, and in this case this is a buff. So basically her crit rate and the person who has the playmate status will have their crit rate increased by 12% and attack increased by 12%, which is actually quite a good buff right there. Very, very nice. Now for her dupes here, probably a character you don't really need to worry about dupes for, but we'll look over them as well. So her first dupe, or her general, no dupes basically. After an ally deals damage with a persona skill, they have a 35% chance to trigger the follow-up attack, dealing 80% of attack as electric damage, and increases that foe's next electrical damage taken by 15% for each turn. So not too bad. Her first dupe here though increases follow-up attack crit rate by 20% and follow-up attack crit rate by 10%, or follow-up attack. I keep saying follow-up attack. I'll just say follow-up attack. Crit rate by 10% when attacking foes with shock. So basically, she gets the general, just whenever she does a follow-up attack, it'll have 20% crit rate. And then whenever they have shock, she gets an extra 10%. So she'll get 30% here. So she'll be able to crit a little bit easier from this. Her second dupe here basically just increases general skills basically. Her third dupe increases own playmate's attack by 10%. Own and playmate's attack by 10% after triggering follow-up attack for 2 turns up to 3 stacks. So basically you can give her and the ally that's playmate 30% attack after she does 2 follow-up attacks basically, which actually is quite good. Basically that's gonna be quite a bit, 30% attack is actually quite nice. Granted, you do have to do 2 follow-up attacks, so that's kind of a bit of a downside there. And then her fifth dupe here, it does increase her ultimate, basically increases her follow-up crit damage by 40% for 2 turns, which is actually quite nice. And our final dupe here, when there's only 1 foe, so if there's boss or whatever, right? Increase skill multiplier of your follow-up attack by 110% of attack, and your follow-up now deals 25% splash damage to all other foes. That's quite good too. So yeah, honestly not bad a character. It is kind of funny how it says she's an assassin, and usually from what my understanding is that assassins are supposed to be single target. But she has quite a couple of things here that are AoE, which is a little bit interesting. But she's more so on the follow-up attack route, right? Most of her stuff here is focusing more so on follow-up attacking, while also slightly buffing one other ally, or decently buffing another ally here. So yeah, kind of a decent character. Can definitely see why she's definitely a lot better for bosses here, because she has a lot of stuff that's better against bosses, but for general content, not as much, right? Now, let's go to our other girl here, Minami, who's also called what's her name? I was still getting used to the names. But Nami here, she has another name. Oh yeah, Marian. There it is, Marian. Yeah, or Marian, whatever you guys want to call it. Let's see. So, also I guess before we go to Marian here, just in case, almost forgot for Yui here. Probably want to. Oh, there's no build here. The build though, if you guys are all wondering for Yui here, if we go to the card section here. Just because if you guys are interested in the character, you guys are wondering, how should I build her? Let me take a look at that real quick for you guys. All right, and then for you, if you guys are wondering what cards, what artifacts to build with her, you actually want to run this renewal set, which I am blocking a little bit. So you want to run renewal here. Basically, the 2-piece will increase your electrical damage by 10%, and the 4-piece will basically give you this buff of after any party member uses electrical skills, the user's own electrical damage will be increased by 9%, 3 stacks. Now, this does mean you do have to have other electrical characters to make this work better. But this one seems to be a pretty good one. There's actually a way better one, but sadly it's only CN at the exclusive at the moment, which is called Success here, which is the 2-piece will increase your crit rate by 7.5%, and the 4-piece will increase follow-up attack by 40%. So this is a really, really good one. There's probably another decent one here you could probably run, like let's see, Power here, which basically increases your own attack by 12% and increase own attack by 10% every 6 turns. So this is like another decent option if you want to run Power. I do think renewal is going to be the one you want to go for, but there's a bit of a problem with the fact that you will have at least a 10% electrical damage increase, but you won't really be able to abuse the 4-piece unless you have more electrical characters on the team. So keep that in mind. There's one more set you could run, which is the Opulent set right here as well. It does increase ice damage by 10%, but the 4-piece does increase your follow-up attack by 40%, so that might also be worth considering. Which honestly, if you're not running an electrical team with Yui, probably want to run Opulence since this is available, and she does have a lot of follow-up attacks. So Opulence will probably be your go-to for just general content where you're not really running ice characters, electrical characters with her. Otherwise, if you are running electrical characters, this one would probably be another good one to go for. And then of course, if you are running the renewal set, then you will want to run the growth one here, which basically it will increase your follow-up attack crit damage by 50%. So as you can see, that's a pretty good one right there. Now for the other set that I did recommend, that's not too bad, an opulent set here, you would want to run. Let's see. Actually, there's growth, but growth wouldn't really work with her because he's not really using it to base. However, though, there's also this meditation set here, which does increase follow-up attack crit damage by 50%. So that's another good option right there. So there's definitely a couple different options you can mix and match with, depending on what you rather go for and what you think is more viable. So I'd say it's probably going to be between renewal. If you do have electrical characters, you can run with her. Otherwise, you probably just want to just say screw it and run opulence, so you can at least just take advantage of the follow-up attack, even if you can't take advantage of the ice damage set. Now going over to Marian here, she's going to basically be a healer here, right? So her first skill here costs 20 SP. It's a single target skill, deals 56% max HP bless damage to one foe, and gives all allies 1 stack of bless, gain 1 stack of nectar. Now her other skill here, healing blessing, it costs 25 SP. A lot of these cost about 20 or 25. This one is AoE. It's a heal type skill, so restores 70% of max HP. So you want to build this character with a lot of max HP to one ally and one other lowest ally, and dispels 2 debuffs, which is actually really good. So you gotta love that. When anybody cleanses debuffs in the game, that's usually really, really good. And gives all healed allies 1 stack of bless and restores 39% of max HP plus an extra 1000 HP at the start of their turn for 2 turns, and gains 1 stack of nectar. So you get another stack here. But this is going to be your main heal skill, so this is going to heal 2 characters on your team. The character you choose is going to heal more, and then the other one heals whoever has the lowest HP, basically. That's very cool. And then our other skill here, Gift of Spring, 32 SP, so quite more expensive. That's also AoE, and it's a heal skill. Consume all nectar and immediately restores 15% of your max HP plus an additional 100 or 1000 HP to the main target, and restores the same amount to the ally with the lowest HP 2 times. Repeat this 1 time with each stack of nectar consumed, and increases all other allies' max HP by 7.5 and max HP up to 1000 with each stack of nectar consumed. So you don't really want to use Gift of Spring here until you have multiple stacks of nectar built up already. Now our ultimate here, you heal everybody by 17% of our max HP and 1500 flat HP to all allies, and you dispel 1 debuff from and gain 60% max HP as max HP up to 2326 for 2 turns. And then they also restore 6.5 max HP plus an additional 500 flat HP for after action for 1 turn. So basically big heal and 1 debuff removal to everybody basically, which is very cool, and also more max HP. And then her skill here, or her passive I mean, increases the damage of heal target by 15% plus 3% bless stacks up to 30% for 1 turn. Increase damage of heal target. So basically just more healing, I'm assuming, for, or actually since it does save damage, this is probably going to be for any characters that take, or any enemies that you fight that do take damage from heal skills. So this is probably what this is relating to here. And then her other skill here, Benevolence, at the start of the battle, increases all allies max HP based on 10% of her own max HP. So that's very cool. So everybody gets just an extra, like, you know, percentage and flat amount of HP, which is actually quite, you know, kind of good. That's actually kind of good. So basically, everybody's going to be a lot more stronger with that. So her regular passive here with no dupes, at the start of the battle, gain 1 stack of nectar, and there's a 100% chance, fixed chance to gain 1 stack of nectar, which an ally below 70% HP, nectar caps at 2 stacks. So you can only have 2 stacks of nectar. So basically, you just do skill 1, skill 2, and then you can do skill 3 to get that. So you know, remove all those stacks basically, right? That's pretty cool. Technically, since you does start with one stack, you literally use skill 1 or skill 2, and then you immediately do the 3rd skill there. So that's pretty cool. And then you immediately gain 1 nectar when anybody reaches below 70%, which is actually quite good because that's going to be very easy to achieve, most likely. Now, her first dupe here, Pain Management, gives all allies 20% pen for 2 turns when overhealing. I actually don't know how good pen is in this game, but that sounds like it might be really good if pen is actually really good in this game. Further dupe here, Nursing Care, basically just gives general stats to her skills or upgrades. Her 3rd dupe here, Nursing Diagnosis, Healing Blessing, restores another ally and increases healing effect by 20% when the target is below 50%. So basically, just more healing numbers makes her healing better. Her final dupe, or her 5th dupe here, basically it seems like all 5th dupes basically improve the ultimate here. So basically now you get an effect boost, increases the duration of max HP, increases the effect of regeneration effect from ultimate by 1 turn. So basically you get an extra turn of max HP and an extra turn of regeneration. So it's actually quite nice. It's actually very, very good. So that means you're gonna have extra HP for longer and you're gonna have more healing for longer. And our final dupe here, immediately revive and restore 40% of max HP and 1000 HP to an ally when they faint once per battle. That is kind of broken. That is actually kind of broken. You get a free revive. Granted, it's only once per turn, and I'm assuming only one ally. But that is still quite broken. That's very, very good. Alrighty, and then for Marian here, you know, the artifact card set you actually want to run upon her is probably gonna go ahead and be the love set. You know, this is a generic healing set. Basically, you get more healing effect. And then when trading a party member whose health value is not higher than 50%, the healing effect will be increased to 23%. So basically, just for more healing. You could technically run this other one called Control up here, where it does increase your HP by 12%, and then when using skills to attack an enemy, it will cause additional damage of 8% to own health, of its own health, my bad, of its own health to the main target. So this one might not be a bad option either. Maybe you don't really need the extra healing because technically she does have damaging skills. So I think the Control one would be good if you don't really need the extra healing, and if you're doing a stage where the enemies are weak to like was it bless and heal. If they're weak to like these, then this might be like a good set to go with, so that way she can be kind of like a pseudo DPS character while also healing your allies. So I'd say it's probably gonna be between Control, but most of the time you're probably gonna be just running generically love. And this is you're gonna be running generically love. For universe cards, you're gonna probably be going ahead and running acceptance could work. You increase attack by 25% when using healing skills, but she doesn't really need attack, so that's most likely gonna be good. Faith is probably gonna be a better option here. Increases healing effect by 1% for every 800 HP you have, up to 20%. Faith is probably gonna be the one you want to go for though, most likely here. And then there's this other one here, meditation. Increase healing effect by 28% for 2 turns after landing a crit. This one might not be as good because I don't know if she can crit that often, but this might be another one you might want to consider. But most likely Faith will be the main one you would be interested in running. And then if you were interested in using Control, you could run awareness, which increases all allies fire damage by 6% when you inflict burn, but you know she doesn't inflict burn, so maybe not the best one for that. Another option you could run, oh no, hold on, my bad, one more here. You decrease main target's defense by 23% for 2 turns after attacking them with a skill. So you could do this one, make sure like a bit of a also pseudo debuffer where you can decrease the main target's defense. So that one's actually quite not too bad. So yeah, I'd say if you're running her more of like a DPS character, then you probably want to Control. But yeah, if you're running her more as a DPS character with like, you know, enemies that are weak to like heals and bless, then you could do Control, and then you could do Departure here to, you know, so she can be more apply more D.Va, so you know, with the whole defense reduction here. Otherwise, you know, just stick with love, get your big heals, and then you just run the Faith set, and you get more heals basically based off the max HP, which is what she wants. And yeah, that's pretty much it, you know, for the upcoming characters we got coming in, you know, to the game. So I don't know when they'll be coming out, but there's a good chance they'll probably be coming out most likely after Joker leaves is my guess. So, and judging by this, it's probably gonna be Marian first, and then Yui, but I could be wrong on this one. I'm just kind of guessing based on like, you know, Marian's on the left here, and then Yui's on the right. So, yeah, that's pretty much all we got for characters coming up. I'll see if you want to do some summons. Might not be too bad of an idea. It looks like 3 dupes is what is recommended though for when you want to have on her though, according to the tier list here. But at the same time, she should be added to standard banner, and I think it might be a smart decision to save your summons for the more limited characters that probably won't be added to standard banner. Like I'm assuming Yukir won't be added to standard banner, or if it's like a seasonal like Chinese New Year or summer, these probably won't be added to standard banner. So just something to keep in mind as well with that. But with that being said though, hope this video helps you guys out, and with that being said, I'm head on out. Peace and take care everybody.